Okay, that was kind of funny, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, why was that funny?
Man, can you believe that we finally made it to the most non-wholesome app on the entire platform? Wait, what? Can you believe that we made it to the most non-wholesome app of our generation? After 5 entries that we've gone through, that did surprisingly really well. I'm very surprised that you guys actually still enjoy the Isn't Wholesome series. That makes me very happy to know that it's going well. You know, I was gonna use a script for this, but then I realized something. Reading scripts aren't wholesome. I sound so monotone and just lifeless, like a robot, and I don't want that to be how it ends. But that does not mean I'm not gonna go tryhard mode. I'm talking voiceovers, I'm talking editing, I'm talking research, I'm talking random jokes and whatever comes to mind. I want this video to be as amazing as it can possibly be. And if it means going scriptless, then so be it. As you can tell, this video is very different. So, if you like what you see, why not leave a like? And if you're new, maybe consider hitting that subscribble. It will help out a lot and you can always unsubscribe. So, without stalling any longer, I believe it's time I give you the video you've all been patiently waiting for. But before we do that, with the internet in its current state, I think I should lay down a few ground rules before I proceed. So let's go over them. This is coming from a mindset of balance. What do I mean by that? Well, I can now see the benefit of TikTok and its obvious flaws. I'm not just going to ransack on the app for no reason because I want to try and keep this at least semi-professional. I know now why some people love the app and why some people hate it. Took me a while to get there, but you know, I had to do it for the sake of this video because I don't want it to be one-sided. I wanted to make sure that I could at least show both sides respectfully and maturely before I go crazy. Another thing that I've addressed before in my other videos is I don't care what you do on the app as long as you're not hurting anyone or doing anything illegal and not being a smartass. Secondly, I don't mean everyone on the platform is bad. I think people just can't seem to understand that things don't have to be 100% one-sided. Because believe it or not, that's impossible. There are creative, wholesome, and amazing TikTokers on the platform being overshadowed by the stupidity of dangerous and inhumane users. Yeah, I said that. There are good people, and that we should acknowledge that. Took me a while to acknowledge that, but it's true. Alright, with that laid out, I think it's about time we discover how this app came into existence. After all, it is the latest and biggest social media app to hit this generation. So I feel it'd be necessary to go through its history and understand what we're working with before we tear it down. In the words of Sun Tzu himself, to know your enemy, you must become your enemy. But how exactly do we do that if we can't become a digital app? Yeah, that's what I thought. Luckily, we live in the modern age where we have what we like to call the internet. And the internet shall provide us all the answers we need in order to figure out TikTok's history. So, yes, I had to do research.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
And I actually came up with a pretty simple rundown of TikTok's history. I'm gonna try and do this in the most entertaining way possible because I know you guys don't like history class. Believe me, I don't like history either. But it would be important. It's nice to know. It's nice to know.
Boring!
So, let's do that. So it all started with our maze-running, monster-slaying god known as Dial Brian, who created this video called True Wannabe in 2018. A bunch of companies saw that and were like, whoa, write that down, write that down. Eventually they went to Dial Brian and said, hey, we have an idea. And Dial Brian was like, okay, let's hear it. So we want to make this new app. We're going to call it Voice Sync. And we want you to be the face of that app where pretty much people voice sync in front of music. Huh, that's not going to cause any copyright issues whatsoever. Let's do it. So that's exactly what they did. Once the app released, it spread to worldwide fame and success. Everybody knew what the app was, and the world would happily ever after, and everyone was perfect, and the world was just amazing. Okay, obviously I'm just toying with you. That's not the actual origin of TikTok. I just wanted to have a bit of fun. I thought it'd be funny. I see none of you are laughing. Alright, here's the real origin of TikTok based on the research that I've done. So just bear with me here. There are 3 apps that you need to be aware of, Douyin and Musical.ly. Another thing that you need to know is that there are 2 companies. One named ByteDance, located in Beijing, and Musical.ly Inc., located in Shanghai. ByteDance owns Douyin, and Musical.ly Inc. owns... well, I think you know. Now, Musical.ly Inc. has an office in the US. That's going to be very important later on. Originally, there was just Douyin and Musical.ly. They are pretty much the same app. Short videos that you make and share on the internet. Pretty straightforward. I don't know the exact reason to this, but eventually ByteDance decided to make TikTok for the US. But they didn't have an office in the US. Or did they? ByteDance decided to make a deal with Musical.ly to combine TikTok with Musical.ly for $1 billion. If that doesn't sound like a lot, then I don't know what is. Oh. Actually, never mind. So once the deal was made, TikTok officially launched in the US and Musical.ly died. Turns out, turning TikTok into Musical.ly was one of the best financial decisions the company has made. As it stands, it has over 700 million users, with 2 billion downloads, surpassing the likes of Snapchat, Pinterest, Reddit, and Twitter. Even going as far as to evolve into something beyond lip-syncing content. Now we have dancing, art, cooking, gaming clips, funny skits, oddly satisfying, what the fuck, animals, and so much more. You know, credit where credit is due, TikTok has a very nice user interface where it's just short spanned entertainment where you can watch these clips created by people. With a platform so unique, it's kinda crazy how it's so hated by so many people. Why is that the case? Well, that's where we get into the section we've all been waiting to hear. And oh man, I've been looking forward to this section as well. If that doesn't strike fear into your heart, I don't know what will. Okay, so we all know that TikTok is a pretty somewhat controversial app, you know, stealing data, misinformation, cyberbullying, you know, but that's just basic stuff. Sure, people can talk about Donald Trump wanting to ban TikTok from the US, but I mean, honestly, I just don't want to talk about it. So, maybe scratch controversies off the list because I don't want to deal with that. Maybe we can also scratch off communities too, because I'm gonna be frank, I did not do any research in regards to TikTok communities because I wasn't about to go down that rabbit hole, so scratch that off the list too. That just leaves us to challenges. We still got enough to work with. So, let's cover some of TikTok's most deadliest, inhumane, and insane challenges. Take me back to a time where internet challenges made sense. Try not to laugh, ice bucket challenge, fluffy bunny challenge, you know, when things were actually challenging. Nowadays, we're given... You know, it disappoints me that this is the world we live in. Reject modernity, return to monk. So what kind of crazy, insane challenges has TikTok come up? What? What kind of crazy challenges have TikTok come up with? Well, let's go through a simple list, shall we? Ahem. The Blackout Challenge, Sexy Silhouette Challenge, Kyle Lip Challenge, Benadryl Challenge, Outlet Challenge, Nutmeg Challenge, Cereal Challenge, Skull Breaker Challenge, and the Bugs Bunny Challenge. When I look at these challenges, I don't see challenges. I just see stupid, sexual, and dangerous. Nothing more and nothing less. But what does it all mean? What do they all have in common? That, my friend, is where we get into the main source of why TikTok isn't wholesome. So we've discussed a lot within these past few minutes. However, there was just one thing missing. And that's why I was saving it till the end. The plot twist, you can say, of this entire video. The main threat of TikTok. Trends. Huh? That's right, you heard me. It isn't just people, but it's also trends. Allow me to emphasize a bit more. Now, I don't know how to say this without ranting and without reading a script, so I'll just list down key points. Anything trends, get famous quick, easy impressionable minds, and young user base. Okay, you can leave now. So with those notes pointed down, here's the main gist of what I'm getting from all of this. Since anything can trend, you can pretty much get that 5 minutes of fame. And since there's a lot of young users on the app, people will be convinced that that is the way to get famous quick. We live in a society where people are trying to get internet famous in any way they can, whether that be through creative means or desperate needs. Unfortunately, that is the society we live in, and there's not much we can do to fix it. Or at least to my knowledge, it's the internet, what can you really do? It's honestly quite depressing when somebody starts this crazy trend and then others follow along in hopes that they will ride this train of popularity. It even says in the Twitch's Wait, what? There's even a few articles saying that you should try and follow trends and join in on them. Which, honestly, like any kind of platform, sounds smart. But when you really think about it, shouldn't you strive for originality rather than follow in someone else's footsteps? That could be easily misinterpreted, but I think you get the point. We need to try and raise this generation to be original. I'm not saying you have to be 100%. I mean, look at me. I'm a... Wait, where am I going with this? The whole point that I'm trying to get is that when anything trends, these young users will try and recreate those trends. And sure, they may think it's okay, but it's really not. And that, my friends, is why TikTok isn't wholesome. It's because of trends. But maybe I'm just overlooking into things. Maybe I'm just, conspiracy theory brain. Maybe it is just people in general. But that's the thing. I don't want to see this generation following in the footprints of these disgusting trends. And people think it's okay. People think that's the way they're gonna get famous. When it's really not. We all have so much potential to share unique and original ideas. But if we continue to just follow what's going on right now, we'll never progress and we will never truly evolve. So we finally make it to the end of the video. All that's left is one question. Is TikTok wholesome? No? Think, viewers, think. Would I go through all of this trouble just to say that TikTok isn't wholesome? 6 months in the making of this video just to side with that app? I've only been using 0.0001% of my power. If I used even 1%, I would have obliterated this app to smithereens. But no, I held back so I can have a fair, unbiased argument about the app. But in all honesty, I think I've said everything that I wanted to say about the app. I probably could have done better while editing or, with my research, but I'm going to be frank, I think I did a pretty good job while covering it, alongside all the other apps that I covered. I said I'd do all 6 apps, and that's exactly what I set out to do. It only took a few months, but eventually I got the job done. And with that said, that puts a conclusion to social media isn't wholesome. I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for allowing me to make this series. The reception that it's received is phenomenal, even in my standards. I didn't think you guys would still enjoy the Isn't Wholesome series. You guys would enjoy hearing stories from me, seeing these crazy edits. It's fascinating for me to see that, and I couldn't be more happy to have this opportunity. There were moments when I was making this series where I doubted myself, where I felt insecure about making these voiceovers, but you guys were there. You guys wanted to see this, and I just want to say thank you for allowing me to make this series. I definitely learned a lot, when it comes to editing, when it comes to voiceovers, when it comes to research. I think this is an experience for me in terms of me growing my channel and me improving, and there was a lot of ups and downs while making this, but it was mostly all good because I got to express myself in a different way. I got to show who I was and the kind of content I want to provide. I don't know if I'm going to do any more videos in regards to apps. I do want to do other topics now, like online school, maybe lip syncing, and go back to my casual comics. Things can only go up from here. So I'm going to keep the pandering for another time, and I'm just going to end the video here. If you made it all the way, please leave a comment, like and subscribe. This video took a long time to make, and I still think I don't think it's perfect, but I think it got the job done. So stay safe, stay wholesome, and don't forget to always be creative.